Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about LinkedIn Ads sponsored content. So if you're new to LinkedIn Ads, sponsored content is the place where most people start. And if you're already an advertiser on LinkedIn, then maybe you'll pick up some tips and tricks from this presentation. Today we'll talk about what sponsored content is, what are some of the best practices, and then tips to make sure you're using the ad unit as best as possible. Let's dive in. First thing, talking about what sponsored content is. So sponsored content is ads that are going to show up in LinkedIn's newsfeed. They'll appear on both the desktop and on the mobile app. They're LinkedIn's highest quality ad unit, so that you can have the most information in that ad in terms of characters and images and videos and different mixed content from there. And then they allow you the most options in terms of objectives and what you can do after somebody clicks on your ads. So sponsored content ads can be either image ads or video ads or carousel ads. We'll walk through what some of those look like today and then talk about when you'd want to use each different type. Because they are the most popular ad unit, they're also tend to be one of the more expensive ones because it's more competitive. Where more people are bidding on that same space, more advertisers want to put their ads there. So we do find sponsored content is one of the more expensive ad units, but it's also one of the highest quality, so it does get a lot of people the best results. Sponsored content ads can be used in all different parts of your funnel and with all different types of objectives on LinkedIn. They can be used for brand awareness, and if you just want to get in front of people, they can be used for engagement, website visits, if you're looking to push traffic to your website, website conversions, and then also lead generation objectives. So if you want to capture leads using LinkedIn Leads form, you can use that form in conjunction with sponsored content. So there's a few things to know about sponsored content in terms of character counts and kind of what content tends to perform best. So we'll walk through those different points as we go through this presentation. So first, let's take a look at some examples. So I'm going to hop over here to LinkedIn's newsfeed. So you can see that this is linkedin.com, what I'm going to see when I go to the homepage. This is the newsfeed here. And then if I scroll down a little bit, this second ad that I see, the second post that I see is by Salesforce. It says promoted on it. Promoted means that it's an ad. So here's an ad from Salesforce. With this button here, I know that this is going to open a lead form. So the different components that you see of this ad is, number one, the post body here. So this is the intro text that you'll set. This could be up to 600 characters. This one here is under 150. I know that because it's not showing the see more button. And then we can put an image here. We'll talk about different image sizings, but this is this kind of the standard and most common banner size. Then you'll have your headline here. It'll show a little preview of the destination where the ad will take you to, and then this download button will show a LinkedIn lead form. So if I click on anywhere on this ad, on the image or on the button, it's going to pop open the lead form here, and then this lead form is going to have a little bit more information in terms of what it's asking for. And then it'll have the different fields that it's asking for. So I can scroll down and see those. And then if I wanted to submit this, I can hit the submit button and it'll submit the lead form to Salesforce. They'll then send me this report that they had put together. Scrolling a little bit farther down my newsfeed, I see another ad by Coda here, and you can see that this is not using the LinkedIn lead form, but this is going to send me to a website, and similar format here. But you could see that there's a link here in the body. LinkedIn does automatic link shortening, so you could have a long link or you could have UTM parameters or other parameters added to this link. LinkedIn will automatically shorten all links and put them into the body here. And then you can have different call to action buttons here down here as well. I can see the social actions that have been taken on this ad. I can also like, comment, share, and send it to somebody else if I wanted to as well. So that's how LinkedIn ads, that's how sponsored content shows up in the newsfeed. Let's take a look at some specific examples. So first one here, this is another just standard image ad that's going to direct somebody to a website. So we have our intro body here. This is under 150 characters because the see more button's not appearing. After about 150 characters, a little see more button will pop up here, and then a viewer will have to click that button to see the rest of the ad. We have our headline here. We usually recommend staying in under about 70 characters. Above 70 characters, the headline can start to get cut off on certain platforms, especially smaller mobile devices. The call to action button is optional, but there are several options you have to choose from, like apply and learn more. And then the preview link here will, this preview section will have a little preview as to what the domain is that you're going to send traffic to. If you are sending traffic to a ClickFunnels URL, it's going to say clickfunnels.com, and then it'll show a subdomain if there is one. So just be aware of the traffic, where you're sending your traffic, that's going to appear on the ad here. Next one, this is a lead form version of the previous ad. So sponsored content, you can either attach or not attach a lead form. This is a slightly different ad here, but I could just attach a lead form to the previous ad that I showed. It'd have to be in a lead generation campaign. But now I can see that this is now a download button instead of the call to action button that was over here. Now I can click download and it'll pop up this lead form as well. Next one here is a video ad. So again, similar content as this previous ad, but this one has a video. This is part of a video campaign. It has a video ad type in the ad. Video ads are going to autoplay, and by default they're set to muted. So it can be useful to have captions on your video or have some text that's going to roll in over your video. Sometimes meme videos do well also, where you might have like a little headline that stays static at the top, just so that if someone's just scrolling by and they see a video, videos are usually good for grabbing attention, but they can be difficult to understand or unclear if there is no text and if they have it muted. So know that videos will autoplay, but they will start as muted. You can set a thumbnail to it, so as the video loads, or if the video is loading for somebody, LinkedIn will show the thumbnail image until that video is loaded. So setting a good thumbnail is also important, because maybe you have your call to action on that image as well, or at least you just have like kind of the first frame leading into the video. And then thirdly is carousel ads. So carousel ads are similar to like how they work on Facebook, where we'll have your ad body up here, and then you can set several different cards, up to 10 cards here, and each card can have its own image, its own headline, and then its own link destination as well. So I can set all my cards to go to the same place if somebody clicks, but it's also useful that each card might tell a different story or talk about a different feature or benefit. I would then want, you then have the option to have each card linked to a different destination so that it matches up with someone's clicking on. Carousel ads are great for kind of, like I said, telling a story, getting in front of people, and maybe sharing more information from them. The one thing is it does kind of scream ad. When somebody sees this, it's more, they know it's going to be an ad, but it does allow you to share more information with them, where they can scroll through maybe several images instead of just one, and they can learn maybe several different facets about what your product or service offers, maybe several different benefits, and then if one of them captures their attention, they can then click on that one to go learn more. So next is, let's take a look at what it looks like in Campaign Manager and test out creating a sponsored content. We're going to come over here to the Create button. I'm going to click that. This is kind of a new update to LinkedIn's interface. I can create a campaign group, which would be a new grouping up here at the top level. But here I'm just going to create a new campaign. First, it's going to ask me what group I want to put it in. I'm going to put it in my demo group here so you can see it. And I'm going to click Next. I'll start by giving my campaign some kind of descriptive headline. So maybe I'll talk about who I'm going to target. So if I want to target brands, maybe I want to talk about who I want to target at those brands, and then maybe how I'm going to target them. So this is a format that I typically use that will label who it is that we're targeting, how are we targeting them, where are we targeting them, what's the campaign type, and then what's the ad format. So following a naming convention helps you keep your campaigns organized. You might have different types of objectives that could be sponsored content campaigns, and then you could have different types of ad formats, whether it's video or image or carousel, and you might want to label those differently. So if I select website conversions here, it's going to jump me into the interface, and then say I want to use a previous audience. I can select that, and then I can target my brand audience here on LinkedIn. It's going to auto-populate with lots of job titles, skills, and company industries that I've selected in the past. This audience size is 2,500. That is 25,000. That's a little bit low. Generally, we find the sweet spot is about 30,000 people. 30 to 80,000 people is the sweet spot. Less than 30,000, you might see some slow delivery and slow impressions, and it might be a little bit more expensive. And then if you're over 80,000 people, then you kind of have the option to add more targeting in to get more specific and more laser focused on who you think is going to be the best buyer and who's going to convert the best and give you the best performance. So maybe I do want to add a little bit to this audience. Maybe I'll add another company size here. Boom, and then we're at 30,000. I'll add one more just to get a little more people. So 39,000, that's a great audience size. Most of the time, we're going to disable audience expansion. Audience expansion allows LinkedIn to create a lookalike, essentially create a lookalike audience based on the parameters you put here. It's good if you don't have strict requirements, but more general requirements on who you want to target, or maybe you don't know the exact titles you want to target. Usually I'd recommend start with audience expansion off, and then if you're getting great performance out of your campaign and you just want to reach more people, then you can try enabling this. But this does allow LinkedIn to do some guessing, and most of the time, the benefit and the reason why you're using LinkedIn is because you want to target these very specific people with very specific titles. Next is jumping down. These are the different ad formats. So the first three here, these are the sponsored content ad formats. Because this is a website conversions objective, I do have other options here that I can select from, but we won't cover those today. Today we'll talk about single image ads, carousel image ads, and then video ads. These are all three of the sponsored content image formats. Depending on what I select, it'll then give me different options in terms of placement, and then, of course, different options when I go to create the ads. So I'm just going to start with single image ad here. It's going to let me choose from the LinkedIn Audience Network. This is when LinkedIn's going to show these ads on third-party websites, such as like the Wall Street Journal and other websites like that. It could be a good way to target these type of people and then bring them from off the platform to your website. So if you're just looking to get more impressions and just reach more people, Audience Network is a good way to expand that reach. It does tend to, when someone's on LinkedIn and they see a LinkedIn ad, that's when you're going to convey the information as clearly as possible. When it's showing up on a website like Wall Street Journal, it might not be as clear as why that ad is there or what exactly they're clicking on. So we can see, sometimes we see that performance might be hit or miss based on adding LinkedIn Audience Network. Usually we'll start with it off, and then if we want to add more reach, we'll turn that on later. Next is my bidding and budgeting section. Maximum delivery is set by default. This makes sure your daily budget is going to get spent every day. For most people, if you're just getting started, you'll want to start with manual bidding, and LinkedIn's going to start by suggesting a range of bids here. Usually you're going to want to bid on the lower end of that, and this will depend on kind of as you know your audience, as you'll know as far as how senior or how junior or how competitive this audience could be. So if I know I'm just targeting owners, my bid here is going to be a little bit higher. But if I'm targeting lower level people, such as like entry level people, then I'm okay to bid a little bit lower. But in this range here, usually we'll start it much on the lower end. And I also want to find out what the real floor is here. So this is LinkedIn's recommended ranges based on what other advertisers are advertising. But if I just put in 1 here, it's going to show me that the real floor is $4.90. So if I knew I was targeting like entry-level people, I might start by bidding $8 here. If I knew I was targeting more VPs or high-level people, then maybe I do want to be more towards the $15 range or even higher than that. But we see if your budget, if you're looking to have the most efficient and most effective cost per result, then usually bidding under the range is going to be where you want to be. If you're looking to push as much results as possible, then you might have to bid up to the upper level range of this range or higher. Next are conversions. Since I've selected a website conversions campaign, I need to have a conversion attached to this, so I'm going to select that. So that's kind of how we set up our sponsored content campaign. Next, if I come over here, I have 2 options. I can either browse existing sponsored content to add into my campaigns, and then this is going to show me other ads I've created. It's going to show me posts on my page that I can choose to boost in this way. So this is how this is one way that you can boost posts. We'll show you another here in a little bit. So I can select ads that have been created previously or in other campaigns, and then I can boost posts just by checking this checkbox. Then I can hit sponsor, and then it'll go into this. It'll be added into this campaign here. But to show you how to create a new ad, I just hit that create button, or just clicking here is going to create a new one. But you can hit this create button here, and then this will pop up the interface to allow you to create a new sponsored content ad. So we'll walk through this. First, I need to name it. So if I just name it test image ad. Next is my intro text section. LinkedIn says keep this under 150 characters to avoid truncation. So after 150 characters, that's when the see more button is going to be added. We'll show you what that kind of looks like. So I'll take the text that we just used recently, and then I'll pop it into the intro text section. And then LinkedIn's not going to show me anything until I put a destination URL here, because this is a website conversions campaign. For all sponsored content ads, you have to have a destination URL set. So let's go grab, say I want to promote my LinkedIn ad tips article. I'll jump back over here, and then I'll put the destination URL, and then you can hit the scrape button, and it'll pull in whatever the header image and title is of this page, and the description. So we know usually when you're creating ads, you're going to swap all this, but if you want to, if you're just looking to boost posts and promote pages, you might want to use that content. But for the most part, we're going to remove this content here. And then I'm going to change this headline here. So say I actually want to promote my guide. That's what the text here was. So I'm going to put that in there, and then I'll put in a headline. This description section isn't really used by LinkedIn, but you can just leave that as is. And then if I want to upload an image, I'm going to select one of these. So now I can see my ad preview over here. And now you can see how the See More button has popped up here. So this is what it could look like. Maybe on smaller devices, the See More button is going to come in sooner. So it's to know that your ad copy can be truncated, and especially if you have longer ad copy that's over 150 characters. So you can see my ad copy here is 189, so that is over 150 characters. Then a viewer is going to need to click the See More button to read the rest of my ad. So a lot of people are just scrolling by in the newsfeed. They're not going to click on that, so they're not going to have a chance to read the rest of your ad copy. So it's important to know that the first 150 characters kind of need to stand alone, so that if someone's just scrolling through their newsfeed, that's going to be compelling and tell them enough to get them to click on your ad and convert. It's important to note that clicking that See More button doesn't charge you. So having longer ad copy, there's not really a downside to it, but it'll truncate your text, but you won't be charged by that. So here you can see we have a square image. LinkedIn does now support all different image sizes within a couple of different ranges. So the standard was the banner size that we showed you previously. So if I then click a banner size, the horizontal, we can see what that looks like. So now you can see how it's shorter. This is kind of the standard image size that LinkedIn's always used, LinkedIn ads have always used, but now they support more image sizes. So we can go ahead and remove this and maybe add back that square one, because you can see how the square one now takes up more space on the screen and actually takes up some more screen real estate. So we see that tends to increase click-through rates, which then increase your overall campaign performance and quality score that LinkedIn's going to assign your campaign. And then LinkedIn also does allow vertical images. So I can choose a vertical image here. If you think about like stories, like Instagram stories, they commonly have vertical creative. So you can see looks kind of cut off here, and it's because vertical images are only going to appear on mobile devices. So the desktop preview here doesn't really work, and the mobile preview isn't great, but you'd have to actually view this on a mobile device to see the real preview. This LinkedIn Ads Manager doesn't preview this correctly. We'll show you how to preview that here in a second, but this vertical ad format will show up on a mobile device and is going to be the largest ad creative that you can use. We don't see it used too often, but it is possible to do. So if I want to show you how you can do that, well, first, the call to action, the different call to actions that you can select are the little buttons that are going to show up on your ad here. Let me swap out this image so I can show you it better. All right, got our square image back, and now I can select different call to action options. So I have apply, download, view quote, learn more, sign up, subscribe, register, join, attend, or request demo. So you can choose whichever one's best for you. Most of the time, we're going to use learn more or whatever the specific call to action that's best. So then you can see this little button pops up over here, and then when it's in the news feed, someone's going to see this button. They can click anywhere on the headline or on the image, or they can click on this button here, and then it is optional on sponsored on website conversion campaigns, so I can also just go back to select option, and then that will disappear later. Lead generation campaigns are required to have a button on them, so if you're creating lead gen ads with lead gen forms, you'll need to have a button on them. And lastly is add to campaign. So I could create sponsored content posts and then maybe save them for later or using another campaign, but as we go through this campaign creation process, I want that to be selected. So next, to show you how to preview these ads on mobile, we'll jump back over here, and then I'll show you what this looks like. So when you preview an ad, so after you create it, it's going to show up in your campaign like this. You can click on these three dots to show the preview dialog, and this is going to pop it up right here inside of LinkedIn. And this is going to be the same preview that you saw on the previous page. So I can see desktop or I can see mobile. This is still not going to show you vertical ads in the right way. So the way that you see vertical ads, well, before that, so the way to see it on LinkedIn and see what it's going to actually look like in the newsfeed, not just that preview dialog, you can click the show preview button, and it's going to show your preview over here. So now I can see it kind of in the context of LinkedIn. How is it going to show up with other things around it? and that's what it'll look like. You can also hit copy link to post here, and then copy that link, or back here, show in feed. Show in feed. It's gonna pop it up in this page, and then I can copy this link here. And then what you can do is you can copy that link, and then you can open it on a mobile device. So if you use a Mac and then you have an iPhone, your devices will often sync together. So then I can just have my iPhone open up Chrome or Safari, and then paste that link in there. And then LinkedIn's going to tell me, this page can only be viewed using the LinkedIn app. I'll say, okay, hit continue to app, and then it's going to appear like this in the mobile app. So you can see how my image here is appearing correctly. So this is only when I'm previewing it in the mobile app. Then I can see how my vertical image is appearing correctly here. So just to note that if you do use vertical images, it is possible to preview, but you need to open them individually on a mobile device. The next thing is if we're creating video ads. This is a demo campaign with a video ad created here. If I open this up, I'll hit these three dots and click edit to show you how we can create a video ad. So they have a lot of the same fields that you'll see in sponsored content or image ads. I have my intro text, and it's going to show above the creative in the same way. See more button can still appear there. And then I'll upload a video file, and then I'll set a video thumbnail. It's important to know that the first time you create your video ad, you're going to upload a video file, and it'll give you the option to add a thumbnail. But after you create your video ad, you cannot change the video file or the thumbnail that's attached to it. You'll need to duplicate your ad and swap out those components if you want to do that. And then, of course, we have our headline down here, and it's going to show up below this, and then a destination URL of where you want it to go if somebody clicks on it. And then video ads, you are required to have a call to action button here. You can see it's not going to let me select nothing, but I'll select learn more. You can see that button pop up there. All right, that's video ads. And then lastly, our carousel ads. So if I open up this carousel ad image, hit edit, I can see the different fields that I can configure here. They don't have a preview that shows up right here on the side as I build it, but I can go and hit that preview dialog or hit show in feed to preview my ad later. We have the same intro text field here, destination URL, and then we can set our destination URL to apply to all the cards or to just or I can set each card individually. So you can see in the past when I created this demo ad, I had set every card individually. You can see how the different URLs are down here. This one goes to LinkedIn ad targeting. This one's LinkedIn ad tips. This one's about perfect lead magnets. But for each card, I can set an image to that card, and I can set a headline to it. So I can have one that talks about targeting, one about messaging, and one about offers. And then you can order these cards differently and such. So again, I can set one URL for all of them, or I can set them to go to their own places. You can also use carousel ads in lead generation campaigns. So I can also have clicking on these cards open up a form. It would have to be the same form for all cards. So just note that. And if I cancel, I'll close out of this. All right, so next let's look at some examples of sponsored content from other company pages. So next, I'm going to move over here to Salesforce. This might have been the one we just saw in the newsfeed here, but we can see that Salesforce has short ads to the point, get the playbook. They're talking to CSPs here. So if I was a CSP, seeing that acronym would probably grab my attention. They'll talk about something, and I might want to get the playbook. So I might want to hit download. It'll show up their lead form here, and then I can complete it, put in my phone number, put in a company size, and then they'll send me that playbook. Next, this is another ad from Salesforce. This is a demo ad. My guess is this is probably retargeting people to push them to request a demo. Maybe someone's been on Salesforce's website or company page or seen an ad before, and they'll want to click on this ad if they wanted to go see a demo. Again, Salesforce is using some short text here, so we're not seeing that see more button pop up, but then having a little button graphic in the image is helpful for help people knowing what's going to happen when they click watch demo. They have their headline here, rather short, and then a call to action button here for request demo. Next one is another one by Salesforce with the carousel ad format. So we can see how they're now incorporating different things, different benefits, and different angles into their ad copy. So there might be different things here that grab someone's attention. I'm going to hit reload on this page. So they talk about driving change, faster digital transformation, trustworthiness. So different things that might grab someone's attention. A viewer might just scroll through their feed. The bright colors might grab their attention, and they might scroll through a few of these cards, and then they're going to learn more about Salesforce, more than just one image can convey by having these different cards here. And then clicking on each card might take you to a different page on Salesforce's website. Next is a video by HubSpot. I'm going to hit reload here to see the video. So this is a video ad for sponsored content. And you can see how it auto plays. It's muted. They might have music on this ad, but maybe not. So this one doesn't really need any text. Well, it doesn't need any captions overlaid on it because it's just, they're just showing you what HubSpot's all about. So they're showing you HubSpot can do marketing, sales, customer service. So this is where kind of an animated image, even though it's an animated image, but it can be a video file, and you can run it as a video ad. And then they have their headline here and a learn more button. So you can see a lot of companies do tend to use short ad copy where it's just short and to the point. Not many people, there's only a percentage of people that click the see more button because most people are scrolling through their newsfeed. So it's not bad to have long ad copy, and it's beneficial to have it there if somebody does click see more, they can learn more. But knowing that most people are just going to scroll through their newsfeed, they're just going to see that intro section. So your intro section does need to stand alone. Next, here are some examples from QuickBooks, and we'll show you how the different formats that they use here. So you can see how they have some cards here, and you can see how they have different headlines on what QuickBooks can do. Stay on top of your expenses, organize receipts, sort receipts on the go, snap and save your receipts. So if you're a business owner and maybe you were looking for receipt management, that maybe the second card here would grab your attention. And maybe here they're advertising to people who own stores or in the retail space or e-commerce space because they're using imagery that reflects that. They have a video ad here. You can see how it auto plays. You can see how they have some text over it. You can see the see more button is popping up here. So this is longer ad copy. I'll hit see more and I can see the rest of it. So you can have hashtags in your ad copy. You can also have URLs in here, and it'll auto shorten into LinkedIn's URL. More cards. This is a nice bright image where these colors are kind of jumping off the page. This is going to grab people's attention who are scrolling through LinkedIn. You can tell LinkedIn here has, LinkedIn's interface is kind of blues, grays, and beiges. So a little bit kind of like darker and muted colors. So bright colors in ads help them stand out and really help increase your click-through rate. Video ads here. Now you can see how this is a kind of a bigger square. So you can see how banner and horizontal sizes are smaller, so they take up less space. Whereas if someone's scrolling through, it's more likely that they can just scroll past it without it catching their attention. But if you're using a square or even a vertical image, then that's going to take up more screen real estate, and it's more likely to capture people's attention. So we do usually see higher click-through rates based on them. And you can see this is a square image as well. And now this is kind of in card format. So all the different ad formats here being used by QuickBooks. And this is the cards again. So those are all the different examples there. And lastly, if you're doing sponsored content, there's a relatively new feature from LinkedIn allowing you to boost posts. This is a feature that Facebook's had for a while, but now on LinkedIn, maybe you have just a social media manager or someone who's posting regularly. This is kind of a nice and easy way for them just to boost posts and get more impressions on them and reach more people with them. It can be a good practice that if you see certain organic posts on your page that do really well, those are good candidates to boost them. And then as you boost them, maybe those people are going to continue sharing it, and you'll get even more viral sharing on top of your organic and paid sharing. So here's a post here. I can click this boost button, and it's going to open up LinkedIn's boosting interface. This is a simplified interface compared to Campaign Manager. So if you just want a very simple way to boost posts quickly, you can use this. But if you want to make this as a part of a bigger campaign, I'd recommend using Campaign Manager, where it'll give you all the full options in terms of creating your audiences and setting up all your configurations. So that's what we got for you today. My name is Anthony from Speedworks Social. If you need any help with your sponsored content and LinkedIn advertising, you can reach us at speedworksocial.com/free consultation. Thanks.